You know, there's something bigger than the border between Canada and the United States. Something that binds our lands together better than any international boundary ever could. I'm on a journey to explore that essential element, Aboriginal people. And so I'm using the border as a guide to meet as many fascinating people in as many interesting places as I can. This is about our history, our culture, and our future. Because for me, the border is not a boundary. It's something completely different. And I call it the medicine line. You know, I like to think of myself as a visual storyteller. So my surroundings, well, they dictate the work I do. And the landscape, well, I like to think of that as my canvas. So sometimes it seems to me that my story is already written in the land that's around me. And it's really just waiting for me to uncover it. It's kind of like I'm meant to be in these places. Some people would call it fate. I just like to think of it as another day at the office.
We're in Writing on Stone Provincial Park in Alberta, home to a huge collection of rock art, and then we're going to capture it using time-lapse photography.
So this is the park. Wow, now this is breathtaking. Somewhere here, along the cliffs, images have been carved and painted on the rock face. Now, the rock artwork that I want to see is not immediately visible. You gotta travel deep into the park to see what I want to see. The first thing you see when you get here is the hoodoos. These rocks have been naturally carved by wind over thousands of years.
The hoodoos is what we call them. That name isn't what the Blackfoot people called them. We called them spirit rocks, and hoodoo was a name that was given to these formations from the early settlers that settled here. This area is considered to be a very sacred place because it was used by the Blackfoot people for hundreds of years for ceremonies, to come here record significant events in history.
As spectacular as this Spirit Rock area is, I've still got farther to go. So Janita is taking me to a special area of the park that's closed to the general public. Well, unless you're a VIP like me. Nah, I'm just kidding. They offer tours.
So what I do is take people from the visitor center down to the archaeological preserve where the majority of the rock art is located. Within the park we have about 50 sites with about 1,000 drawings on each of them. So we do have the largest concentration of rock art in the plains of North America.
Holy jumpins, look at those cliffs. Man, that's spectacular. If I was looking for a place to create art, this would be it. It is beautiful around here. I still can't see the pictures in the rock just yet, so I guess you have to get up real close to see them. The problem is, when you let people too close, they sometimes do really stupid things, like writing "Joe loves Mandy" over a 1,000-year-old carving. So the rules are strict. I can take pictures, but no touching the rocks. Janita takes me up to the base of the cliff. You gotta get in really close and look past the graffiti, but the images are there.
This drawing gives us a time of when it was put here. Because horses only got to this area in 1730, this drawing had to have been created after that time because it looks more like the modern horse. We call it Bunogamida.
Bunogamida.
Yeah, Bunogamida is a mixture of elk, which is Bunoga, and dog, which is Imida.
Bunogamida.
Yeah. The next one here is the only drawing in Writing on Stone that I can tell you the exact date. It is the last drawing that was actually put here by a Blackfoot person, and his name was Bird Rattle. He came here September 14th, 1924. Can you take a guess at what they're riding in?
I'll have to say a horse-drawn wagon.
And if you look closely, you don't see any horses.
No, you don't.
But some of the other details that you can see are right here at the front of the drawing.
Wow. This is the steering wheel?
Yep.
Yes.
These are the first Ford Model Ts.
Oh, wow, man.
There was that debate going on till they actually discovered a picture in the Smithsonian. And it was Bird Rattle actually standing right here, drawing this onto the sandstone.
No way.
Janita really knows her stuff. I was blown away by all these, but then Janita showed me a really old one.
We believe this to be about 5,000 years old because of how high it is from the ground. So we give it about a meter every 1,000 years. So where we're standing would have eroded away over a long period of time to make that drawing very high up. The coloring also is very rusty, and the carving too, which tells us that that drawing is also very old. The other drawings that are here, is one of my favorite drawings. Elders have come here, and the first thing they say when they see that drawing is maybe it's representing this small horse that existed here thousands of years ago. It's important to me because I also heard that story from my grandmother. So hearing it from another elder just shows that consistency with that story. And another part of this drawing that's significant is the eyes. When there's eyes on drawings, that's representing a spirit. So when they see that drawing of a horse-like animal there, one of the first things that they say is maybe this could be this small horse that was here long ago, but went extinct, and it's being drawn here represented with eyes because it's not with us anymore.
These rocks tell an amazing story, or rather, a lot of amazing stories. It's really kind of overwhelming. But now it's time for me to do my part. I've got to figure out the best angles to capture the sun, light, and clouds, all passing over these rocks in a time lapse to somehow make this as beautiful as it really is. Easier said than done. I'm at Writing on Stone Provincial Park in southern Alberta, a place with a whole bunch of ancient artwork on the rocks. And now I'm gonna try and capture a whole afternoon in this valley using time-lapse photography. I've gotta wait until the light is perfect to capture these images with my camera. And I'll have to get it all in one shot, because who knows what the weather will bring tomorrow. Luckily, I've got a bunch of little cameras, so I can set them up in a number of different places and then run them all simultaneously. Depending on how you look at it, time-lapse photography can be peaceful or somewhat tedious. You gotta wait for hours to get a bunch of shots, and you don't want to leave the camera unattended, just in case wind or something disturbs what you're doing. So I wait. But as luck would have it, this is really not a bad place to spend a quiet afternoon. In fact, it's kind of magical.
walking around here. It's a very spiritual site, and what I do is just what we would usually do when we wake up in the morning, and we would just pray, and we would ask for different things, like to thank the Creator, Istabat Tabiop, to give us a good day and to thank Him for giving us another day. Our prayers are very personal, where when we do ask for prayers, it's more of what we need right then and being thankful for what we have right now. And at the end of the day, when we're done, we would thank the Creator for that day and to give us another day. It's just waking up and appreciating that I get to see this beautiful place every day.
I'm headed south across the border, this time to a place I know well. My journey has taken me here before, but this story deserves a trip back. Yeah, I'm back at the Little Bighorn Battlefield in Montana. Remember? That's the place where Custer met his epic demise at the hands of some legendary Native Americans. It's nice coming back here, but as I'm about to find out, this story is filled with many things that have come full circle. This time, I'm here to meet up with a visual artist, and here he comes now. This is John Beartusk, a Northern Cheyenne artist. Now look at what he's carrying. A canvas? Well, sort of, but it's not made of cloth or paper. Oops, do you see that? Yeah, you guessed it. Beartusk canvas is made of wood, and he comes right here to the Little Bighorn National Park to do his artwork. It looks like my timing is perfect. John has invited me to see how he works, and I'm gonna film it. So what's so special about some guy drawing outdoors? Well, for starters, John always works outside, and he can only work when it's sunny. Have you figured it out yet? Well, if not, that's okay. When I first heard about this, I didn't think it was possible. And when I saw the results, I just had to come and see how it was done. See that? He uses a lens too, just like me. The only difference is, my lens usually doesn't start fires.
I am a solar pyrographer. Solar meaning sun, pyro meaning fire, and graph meaning writing. So I'm a fire writer, and I use the sun as my ink, so to speak. My paintbrush is a handheld magnifying glass, and I capture the sun's rays and project them onto wood, then burn images one dot at a time. It's a labor of love. My passion is portraits. I feel like there's great honor in an accurate portrait of somebody. I love to capture the eyes and the wrinkles in somebody's face. I feel like people earn their wrinkles, so to speak. I use sort of a negative space style where I burn the background and burn the shadows. And so what you really see in a finished piece is actually the raw wood coming through. My work that's done on the wood is actually what you don't see. When I first started, I was doing pictures for myself and hoping people would like them enough to buy them. And right now I can sell an original 24 by 36 portrait for about $5,000. I feel really blessed. We're isolated on the reservation, and my heart goes out to the other artists who are still isolated and are still selling their work for $20 or for a package of diapers or a 6-pack of beer. It took me about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, of developing my technique and kind of learning the discipline to where I could actually sit for as many as 12 hours from 7 in the morning until 7 at night. When I'm doing my artwork, my attention is completely focused 110% on what I'm doing. And since I'm doing portraits of some of my famous ancestors, my goal now is to get these famous people out of books and off of coffee tables and out of bookshelves, out into the public where people can see them and remember them.
Now, John is the only artist who is allowed to work at the Little Bighorn battlefield. And that's because he's the descendant of a brave warrior who died here. John takes me down to the exact spot where his ancestor, Lame White Man, fell. You know, the strange thing is, the last time that I came here, this was the exact stone that drew me in. You know, there are dozens of markers here, but I walked right down to this one. What are the odds of that?
Lame White Man.
This is your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Yes, 7 greats.
But this time, I'm able to pay my respects, knowing a lot more about the man who died here. There's a lot more I can learn from John, and I really feel like there's something else to all this. His art, my journey, are a shared perspective. There's something much bigger at work here, and I'm gonna figure it out before I leave. I'm at the Little Bighorn National Park, meeting with solar pyrographer John Beartusk. If you've never seen solar art before, it's basically painting with the sun and a magnifying glass. And boy, it's cool to watch. The smoke, the intense light, the smell of burning wood. It takes John hours to create one portrait. But there's something about all of this. About stories coming from the canvas itself, just like the rocks at writing on stone, that relates me right back to my journey. Maybe it's the sun or the wind, but my head is spinning with ideas. But then John tells me something else. Something I just wish wasn't true.
Three years ago now, I began losing the vision in my right eye. At first, I thought it was my artwork that was causing my vision loss. And so for the first 6 months, I didn't tell my wife. I thought she would tell me to stop doing my artwork. And stopping at that point wasn't an option for me. But coming to reality that I was going blind wasn't something that I wanted to face either. So 6 months into the vision loss, when I finally went to the eye doctor and had my vision checked, the damage had been done, and now I'm 100% blind in my right eye. I'm beginning to lose the vision in my left eye, but I feel like I'm really fortunate that I love storytelling and I love to play my flute, and I don't need any eyes to do those. I'm just trying to look at it with a positive outlook that my artwork isn't me, and it's just an expression, and we express ourselves in so many ways that if this is the plan that the Creator has for me, I have nothing to worry about. And so it saddens me to think that I may be blind, because the artwork has given me so many opportunities to reach out and meet people and make connections. But if that's what the Creator wants for me, then I'm at peace. My wife said, the Creator knows which picture is going to be on the wood before you do. Because my wife and I both feel like the stories of our lives have already been finished. And it's up to us to find that path that's already been written. I don't know where I'm going to get my next piece of wood or where the inspiration is going to come from, but the Creator knows, and I have nothing to worry about.
I've got an idea. there's something I need to do. Before leaving, I tell John about another experience I had a while back. In northern British Columbia, I had encountered a grave with a miraculous healing soil that people would bring home with them. Not knowing where or when I might need it, I had been carrying it all this time. Maybe John can use this soil.
Seal it up and say a prayer to Rose Prince. It's come a long way to be here.
Wow.
And I didn't know it was going to you. So give me some love, Timmy.
This isn't a coincidence. My favorite word in Cheyenne is Stawazawoms.
Stawazawoms. What's it mean?
It means I'll see you again. The Cheyenne people never say goodbye because we feel like it's a curse.
Stawazawoms.
Yes.
I'll see you again.
Stawazawoms.
Stawazawoms.
I've got a lot to think about. I'm starting to feel like this big adventure of mine was written long ago. Maybe not carved into the side of a cliff or waiting to be burned out of wood, but it was meant to be somehow. Things come full circle for a reason, and I can't wait to see what's gonna come around for me next.